All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, February 6, 2023. We're going to do our 2022 wrestling award show. I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzo'S. How's it going?
Oh, going great. I'm excited.
And we're also joined by superfan Marcus Fine. How you doing tonight, Marcus?
I'm doing good. You guys?
Doing good.
You're doing well. I'll go ahead and let you start that while I check the sound.
Okay, well, let everybody know, at least, and then Marcus can say kind of what he went by. Probably 99% of what I went with on my picks were stuff that I actually seen, or at the very least seen on video. And very little did I go on video. I pretty much went on eyesight. Me and Chris last year seen 36 shows that we went to. I think we broadcast 36. We might went to a couple other that we just in the crowd. So probably about 38 shows, which I know Marcus almost doubled that up with, I believe, 69 shows.
69.
And so, but that's what I went by. So I don't want people to get upset. Well, why didn't you go with this match or this place? If I didn't witness, if I wasn't there, that's not what I went by. So I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just going by, pretty much what I seen and what, and it's all opinion, not saying that my opinion's right or Chris's opinion right or Marcus' opinion right. We're just giving what our picks are and from what we've seen. And Marcus has been to several states, just not Indiana also. So I'm sure that'll be involved in his picks also, even though I can't speak for him. What I was going to start with, Marcus, I don't know, I don't want to confuse you, but
I got more out here, so
I was going to start with the best fans first.
Okay.
And kind of go work my way up, all the way up to the Wrestler of the Year.
Okay.
Match of the year.
Match of the year, excuse me.
Match of the year. All right.
Yeah.
Well, to take off what Tony said, Kelly and I did hit 69 shows, 4 states. My list will basically be Indiana. I will do a few honorable mentions from Illinois. As we was talking about Saturday, 69 shows. Kelly and I seen probably 500 plus matches last year. This is all going by what I remember. If I don't mention you, no hard feelings. It's just we've seen so much in the 12 months of 2022 that who knows. If I miss you, I'm sorry. It's nothing against you, your ability, what you presented. It just didn't click. I mean, I don't know how to say it, but
Marcus, I don't know about for you, but I know for me and Chris, well, I'm not gonna speak for him, but I think so too, because we had talked. When you start going back and thinking about things, it's very easy to come up with, because we're doing 5, and in some cases I did do a 6 or 7, to be honest, because it was too hard. I mean, there's so many, we've seen so many great things that it's hard to narrow it down to 5, to be honest. So I hope people don't feel slighted. Because we're not trying to do that. We're just, putting our opinion out, and it's just our opinion.
It's our opinions. And at the end of the day, we just want everybody to support independent wrestling.
We're trying to people's names out there and the wrestling organizations out there that we go to. And hey, if and Chris has said this before, anybody out there that even if we don't come to your show, we would love to come to your show if we have open dates. But even if we don't come to your show, you send Chris a flyer and we'll advertise it because we're for independent wrestling, whether it's Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky. We got to go to Cincinnati and had a great time. We hope to do that again, but we hope to get to Illinois and other places. So hopefully everybody enjoys what we're about to do and appreciates it. At least we hope so.
And one thing before we start, Mikey, he says, why is it so hard? I mean, I'm the obvious winner of all categories.
See, Jared's going to start it early.
Yep, he's ready.
So say out of all the shows we seen last year, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Marcus.
But out of all the shows we seen last year, we only had one event that was bad. Those who were some know who that is. I will not announce it. Won't tell you where it was at. But yeah, we've seen a lot of top shows, a lot of top talent, and so yeah, it's hard to pick just 5, and some of mine goes up to 7. So because Tony gave me the list, I don't know, a month ago, and then Kelly got sick, so we had to cancel the 2 weeks ago. So all right, so what do you want to do?
Had a little extra time. Looks like we'll have some people out here interested in it. So Chris, what was you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, if we haven't been to your show and you would like to have us at your show, reach out. If we haven't reached out to you, it's not because we don't want to come to your show. It's just, I'll be honest, I'm busy. I not only do the wrestling, I do sports shows all day long as well. And sometimes I might mean to reach out and I forget. So if you would like us to come to your show, reach out. And if we haven't reached out to you, like I said, that doesn't mean we don't want to come there.
Yeah.
We just, we've been going to sometimes 4 or 5 shows a month. So sometimes dates just don't line up as well. So, but yeah, we want to try to get to some new places as well this year. I know we got to go to Ohio last year for a show. And
hoping to go there again.
Hoping to make it to Illinois and some other places.
Yep, hope so. Well, let's get this thing started. Well, we're going to start out with the best fans, and we'll switch it up. I'll go first this time, and then we'll let Chris and then Marcus, and then we'll switch it up as we go. And this is not in any order. I'm just listing my 5. It's not a number 1 through 5 or anything like that. I'm just giving out. But this on my list, I have Summit Pro. Hey, Summit Pro is a great wrestling organization there in Greenfield, Indiana. Got a great crowd, doing a real good job there. TJ Kemp and his family and all the people that work with him. They're building something. They've been going for a little over a year. Real nice place to go. Next, I got WCWO. If you don't know about WCWO in Indianapolis, the fans are great. And what's unique about that for some people that don't know, they run every Friday night. So that's not an easy thing to do and keep things fresh for the fans and everything. And they try different things, ran by Joey Owens and his family, do a fantastic job. Next on the list is World Pro Wrestling. I'm not remembering. I think his real name's Ron Kraft.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right.
Buck Sexton and his family. I got a great organization building something. I really like. He's a little bit more story driven than some of the other places. I like what kind of old school in some ways, and he tries to change things up. Got something really good going there. Next on that list was DCCW. DCCW is a little bit different than other places. They do a lot of bigger shows, a lot of charity events, a lot of things like that. That's where we got our start. So I'm not going to say I'm not biased. I love them guys. So, but they have a lot of big crowds, a lot of great crowds. Do a great job. But my next one, and I've said this to Marcus, and I've said this to Chris, and I've told other people, best fans in Indiana, as far as I'm concerned, is AACW and Kokomo. Them fans are fantastic. They draw good crowds, and you talk from the first match to the last match, them fans are into it. I mean, it's just a great crowd. So that's my 5 for the best fans in Indiana. Chris, you want to go?
Yeah, I had a few of the same as you. I had a New Era Wrestling there out of Shelbyville, Indiana, at the Boys and Girls Club. They always draw a good crowd and a crowd that, like you said, is into it from start to finish. Then also WPW, Warrior Pro Wrestling, there in Danville. Buck Sexton and his family and everybody there. They work hard to put on a great show, and they put on a good show every month. And they have nice facilities, but they've been their crowd. I mean, we started going there, I think it was their 6th show.
think something like that.
and now they're on their like 17th show. And I mean, every time we went, the crowd has grown some. So I like that. WCWO, of course, like you said, ran by Joey Owens and his crew over there. They're all great people, and they always draw a good hot crowd every Friday night. And it's impressive, like you said, to be able to do that every Friday night and keep storylines. Then I had AACW Kokomo fans, like we said, are the loudest crowd that we've probably been in front of, and then DCCW as well. I had them, and like you, I mean, we went to a show in October where there was like 600 people in the building, and the crowd was hot from start to finish. So, but I mean, we haven't been to a bad show.
Nope.
Them were just the five that kind of stood out to me.
Yep. Okay, Marcus.
All right. Well, of course, I had a lot of yours matched. Of course, AACW. Sorry, Jared. I mean, you're right up there, but that crowd in Kokomo, if you haven't experienced it, you need to when they open back up, because it is wild up there. I also have DCCW. I only attended the Bearcat Rumble, but he had 400 people plus in there that night. And, of course, WCWO, if you guys was at Cagemas, which I know you was not, but Cagemas was standing room only, packed under the stairs, up the stairs, loud that night. Of course, Warrior Pro. I had JICW out of Martinsville. Now that's a whole different set of fans. If you guys get to Martinsville this year, you'll see that they are good fans. It's just a different crowd. It's hard to explain it. Yeah, but see, now you said something, Jared, that the top fans are the fans that are fans of you. So evidently that category is empty in your book, right? Because I don't know.
Well, I will say,
Jared Bird, but
I will say the last show we was at Kokomo, Mr. Ladies Man Mike King had 2 or 3 fans there that wanted to kill him. So I will say that for sure.
He definitely gets heat in Kokomo.
Definitely.
Yeah, I had a couple,
and it was well deserved.
I only hit one, maybe 2 NGW events last year, but that's an honorable mention because you guys was there Saturday, and I know that's 2023, but that crowd's pretty. And yesterday's show was even more, but we're talking 2022. Also, the Illinois New Version Wrestling in Danville, Illinois, has a good crowd, and Triple Crown Wrestling down in Somerset, Kentucky, was also. And again, it's different. Danville's pretty much like what you see. Kentucky's a whole different ballgame. So, Tony's girlfriend.
A phone call.
That's who I had.
But to go back to what you said about NGW real quick, because I was actually told that earlier. I said they had a real hot crowd Saturday when we was there, but it said it's 2023.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we didn't get to go there.
Yeah, that atmosphere, which I told Marcus and I told you, the atmosphere kind of reminded me of Kokomo. It really did. Okay, our next category was going to go to, and I'm going to let Marcus go first and Chris go second. I'll go last this time. It was going to be the manager.
It's on the same page. That works out well. Okay. No particular order. Just remember, everything I tell you is no particular order. Don't think if I say you first that you're number one, because I will not do that. I've made too many friends over the last year, especially to rank these people. But Shooting with Shane, number one, not number one. He's the first one on the list. I'm not saying he's number 5 either. He's in the list. Jordan Bell. I also had Lily Love, who is Dalton Love's manager. T.S. Wiley. Hollywood House. And I only seen him once last year. And, of course, I think Emerge was in January. So, again, that's this year. And then I had John Downs. That's the honorable mention. John Downs is the manager of Gideon in New Generation Wrestling. And I think he also works at New Era. So,
yes, I've seen him there.
Okay, so he has to have a couple of organizations. I don't see a lot of John. Interesting side note with John Downs is he used to work with my dad somewhat. My dad worked for NDOT, Department of Transportation, and John did too. And they knew each other kind of, but didn't. But it's cool that he knew who my dad was. So, but that's who I have. each one of these guys have their own lady. Each has their own style of managing. Well, I don't remember G.W.R ever being a manager, but anyhow.
Hey, Chris.
Uh, hey, put that over here. I have again in no particular order, but I have Hollywood House. We got to see a lot of Hollywood,
Yeah.
especially when we first started doing this.
Yep.
And then Marvelous Mr. Bell, Jordan Bell. I think he does a great job. That dude can't even get, especially there when he was in Kokomo, he couldn't even get his damn shit in with that because the crowd. He was getting so much heat from the crowd.
Most
As soon as
definitely.
he hits the curtain, also had David Lee. We as a manager there at Warrior Pro, and also I know he does some work at New Era.
Yep.
And I think he might even do some stuff with Emerge. Had Lily Love, seen her a lot with Dalton over the course of this year,
Yep.
and then also John Downs, as he mentioned. He also, I think it's, I remember it's Jordan. He manages Jordan Dye at New Era.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay,
and I
well-
miss David Lee because I've known David for years as more of a referee.
Yep.
And then his ring announcing and manager and
Yeah.
commentators all secondary because I've seen him as a referee for so many.
Like, right, my manager, David Money Lee.
You're right, Blake. I didn't forget David on purpose. I just always see him as a referee because that's what I've known him for is so long. So,
Yep. My list, of course, I had David Lee, and I know he works Warrior Pro and New Era, and like Chris said, maybe some Emerge. I got Lily Love down. I know she works with WCWO. I don't think was she at DCCW at that show? I don't know. I can't remember now. I don't think she was.
Oh, I can't
And
remember.
then she does work for another federation in Muncie also. We got Tobias Wiley for WCWO, AACW.
and
Marvelous, NGW, that's right. Marvelous Mr. Bell, AACW, and I think now he's also working Emerge.
yes.
And then Hollywood House, DCCW, and Emerge. That's a great group of managers. So I mean, that was my group for the managers. And my next one is the great moments. And I was going to let Chris go first.
Oh, I'm going first again.
Yep. Well, you didn't go first yet, did you?
Yeah.
Did
Should
you?
be back to you. I went and then Marcus.
Let me get to it.
Who went first this last time? I thought Marcus did.
Marcus went first the last time.
We've only-
Yep, I got the great moments, or whenever you're ready.
Okay, go ahead, Marcus.
Okay, again, no particular order, and it's just kind of a little weird how I went about this. Great moments was when Joey Owens defeated Vinny in the Cagemas to win the WCWO title. It's a new beginning for WCWO for you people who do not know that they are now on the road. They did a big show in Lebanon a few weeks ago. They will be in Jeffersonville on Saturday, and I don't know what the rest of their list is. I did hear a rumor yesterday about a new town, and I can fill you guys in. I'm not going to mention that here. J.H. Hogg's bull rope match to win the whatever that title is from Justin Terrell. I can't think the Excellence title. I think is what it was called.
Yep, I believe so.
And that was a great moment for me because in my King, here you go, buddy. You guys attacked me. Jordan Bell attacked me to help set that match up. So that was a great moment that I was actually put into a. We'll get to you. You're in the list. Yes, I'm sorry. Since they redid my eyes, I cannot see up close. So I can do distance, but Jake Carter defeated Blake Money Wright, Fair Fight to take the title in Danville. Nate Matthews defeated Dutch Boy Platinum to take the Warrior Pride Championship. What's up, Dirty Bird? And then I had a big list. I kind of batched them all together. TJ's retirement show, the Don Bashers Memorial shows, the Veterans show, the Austin Fury show, and then the 3 outdoor shows we went to, JICW in Gosport, Warrior Pro at the fairgrounds, WCWO in Lebanon, and they did do one in Greenwood. So those were all what I had down as great moments. I like a good outdoor show if the weather's good.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I had on my list.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. On my list, I had J.H. Hogg bull rope match at AECW Into the Sun. That was a great moment. Him winning that, the crowd went nuts. The pop was loud, so that was awesome. One that I really enjoyed. Rachel Armstrong winning Keys to the City at DCCW at the
Juneteenth
show. That was outstanding. Really enjoyed it. Mick Foley in the ring at DCCW. I know I don't want to get Chris mad and upset because we didn't get to capture all that on film. I won't call out anybody, Walter Buckley, but I'm just teasing. But anyway, that was an awesome moment, and I know it was for the wrestlers too. I've got to talk to some of them. That was pretty awesome for different reasons for the wrestlers also. Jay Kemp's retirement match at Summit Pro, that was outstanding.
Yes.
But the one that really, and this was for selfish reasons, and I'll just say it, this was my favorite moment of the year. JKO and Skull Crusher taking over Gonzo'S wrestling at the DCCW Rock and Roll Never Dies. You go back and look at that tape, you can see my face. It was just outstanding.
I laugh every time I see that with the way you're laughing. You had to take your glasses off. And
oh yeah, it was awesome.
Laughing, yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. It was my moment of the year. So,
and what was great about it too, because that's on my list as well, is that we didn't even see it. I mean, we didn't even know it was going to happen.
No,
we had no clue
at all. They didn't tell us, and I'm glad they didn't. And we didn't even see it coming because we were so busy watching the action that we didn't even know they were there. So it was awesome.
Mike King's all one night.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be any other way.
We had great moments, right?
Yep.
I had the JKO Skullcrusher taking over G.W.R. at Rock and Roll Never Dies on my list. Of course, Mick Foley at DCCW is on my list. I mean, I was like 5 feet from Mick Foley, so that was pretty cool. Alice Crowley becoming the first ever Summit Pro champ. Summit Pro, I think it was To the Limit, if I remember right.
I think so.
And then Rachel Armstrong, the Key to the City match. That was a fatal 4-way, and it was a great match, and her winning it.
Pin Dex Royal.
Getting pin over Dex Royal was a great moment. And then my other moment is Mitch Taylor winning the DCCW title at the DCCW Cornfield Carnage. I know he's a heel, but just the reaction from the crowd and everything, it was just the way it was done. It turned into a great moment.
The way it was done, and then got to see my good friend Bobby flipping Mitch Taylor off there was pretty awesome too. So,
all right, I got a question.
That was very good also.
I was talking to Larry Hughes from NGW today about Mitch Taylor winning that. Who'd he pin? Because he didn't pin Dex. That was a triple threat, and I could not remember who the third man was. Because it was Dex, Mitch, Taylor, and there was a third guy.
Juwan Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, I could not remember.
Thomas.
I was trying to tell Larry that a little bit ago, and it's like I could not remember who it was.
Yeah, because it turned out it started as just Dex and Juwan Thomas, and then the King came out and entered into the match.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Well, our next category is Tag Team of the Year. You want to go first, Chris?
Which one are we doing?
Tag Team of the Year.
All right, Tag Team of the Year. On my list, I have 5. I have 8-bit punks, Savage Love, or excuse me, 8-bit punks, which is Aaron Anarchy and Damian Michael Cole. They've been around. I know they've been around for a while. But we got to see them quite a bit this year. And then Savage Love, the tag team of Luke Savage and Dalton Love. They had a good run there at WCWO. They also had a good run at a couple other promotions. Then I have Awesome Audi. We've seen them a few times at Summit Pro. Might have seen that. I think we might have seen them at New Era one time as well.
I know we've seen them at WTF.
Okay, WTF. Yep. And then I have the Beaver Boys, Dutch Boy Platinum and JB. They had a good run as a tag team at a couple different promotions. I know at WCWO and at DCCW. Yep. And then the highlight reel, which I mean, I believe that they're the best. They're the best in the state that I've seen. I know that's gonna make some people mad, but not trying to make people mad. It's just how I feel. But they're real talented. We've seen them all over the place at different
promotions.
at different promotions.
Definitely
but,
DCCW and WCWO
and oh yeah,
and other places.
So that's my 5 for the tag teams.
Okay, Marcus, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. No particular order. Bulletproof Posse. I've gotten in really good with those guys over this past year. Started out with Chris Chaos back in earlier in the year at JICW, and then that was before Kokomo. So good friends with all those guys. The Beaver Boys, too bad they broke up because those guys they were very good.
Yeah, Gary, we definitely would like to get to an AWR show this year.
Yep.
And of course, the highlight reel. VIP. I know it's an older tag team, but they know how to work the crowd. That's part of that veteran status. I also had Ruthless Domination, which is like a different. They do well. And then I had Savage Love. I don't know if Mike King and Tom Van Zant worked this 2022 as the High Rollers.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, let's get deep in it. I have a few honorable mentions. Brutal Country. It's a hardcore. Big Country and Brutal Ben Baker. The Bruise Brothers, I don't know if you've seen those guys. They're kind of different. And then I had the Kelly Club and the Dirty Birds. They did not make the list this year because they're still relatively rookie, but they very well could next year. So,
okay, I'll go ahead and go now. I had the Bulletproof Posse. I had Savage Love, the 8-Bit Punks, the Beaver Boys, and I had the Highlight Reel. They were my 5 tag teams.
All right, well,
Okay, next category I'm going to go to. It's going to be feud of the year.
that's all different. All right. Let me go first.
Go ahead.
All right, mine. I have Eric Dillinger versus Nate Matthews. One of the I got 5, no particular order. Ace Perry against Kevin Giza. We saw them build up from a regular match all the way up to an hour-long Iron Man match, and they put on a great show. Jake Carter and Blake Money Wright at the Warrior WPW. They had a good feud going on most of summer. They ended in a steel cage match. JKO versus Mike King. They have a feud that's been going on. I don't think it's ever going to end. It just goes on for years and years. And then Dex Royal versus Jawan Thomas. They had a great feud. Went through WCWO, even went over to DCCW. So that was the 5 I had as for the feud of the year.
Okay, I'll go next, and we'll let Marcus go last on this one. Mine was Ace Perry and Kevin Giza, Summit Pro. I had also Mike King and JKO at DCCW. I had Luke Savage and Dalton Love, who feuded here in Muncie, and also I think at WCWO also. So it lasted quite a while. We had Blake Money Wright and Jake Carter, World Pro Wrestling. And also I had Dex Royal and Jawan Thomas, like he said, at DCCW and WCWO.
Okay, Marcus.
all right. You got to remember, I see a little different stuff than you guys actually have. So,
Yeah, hey, that's fine.
Bulletproof Posse versus the Dirty Birds has been going on most of 2022. Gosh, let's get deep in here. I had, and I did it a little different. I did AACW versus the Gold Standard because that's a feud. You got one team going after the other.
Yep, that's true.
WCWO and W.R. taking on VIP. That was another one. the Black Market. See, I went the whole thing, Black Market and Warrior Pro Wrestling,
Yep.
because those guys. But then Christian Cash and Mike King, I thought was a good feud that and they still got a cage match coming sometime if they can get that worked out. And then I had one left, kind of slipped in there at the end when Buck Sexton turned on Jake Carter there at the end of 2022. So that's a feud that slipped in there at the very last minute. So.
Okay. My next category is people to watch coming up here in this year, 2023. The people we've seen in 2022, and we think that they're the people to watch. And I'll be honest, this was a hard one for me. I had a hard time coming up. I mean, I could name some other people, but I feel like they're already there. So I was trying to go with more rookie, type. Well, at least that's what I was thinking. And here's who I had. I had the Dirty Birds. You mentioned one. Help me out with this, Marcus. That one that should have been on my list. They're from Kokomo.
Christian
Kelly Club.
Kelly Club. Yeah. There's two bright young. Got a bright young future too. Yeah, they should have been on my list. So I had them in there. Dylan Cole, who's come a long way. I've got to see a lot of his matches, and he's getting better and better every time. And then the other one of my favorites, Zay Gates. Just doing great things. Got so much better the last 6 months. He about leaped out of the building there at I think it was Cornfield Carnage. I thought he hit the ceiling.
Yeah, that was spot on. I watched that on video. Yes.
Yeah. I'm telling you to watch out for Zay's for sure.
You want me to go next, Marcus?
Let's Marcus go. We'll let you go.
Okay, I quit laughing at Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, Cecil Cerveza. He's been in and out with injuries and stuff.
That's a good one.
He put on a good show yesterday. I know that was yesterday, but yeah, and he had a good match with Jason Levi. I've been seeing videos of that, but again, that's this year. Tyler Scott's another one. Big Heart. He will go. They're starting to use him in more places. So, and they're big names over in Danville, Illinois. So, Zay Gates, of course, he's on there. And I was talking to Larry again today. Zay, Larry Poffo, Larry Hughes. Very happy with your performance yesterday. And I told him you've come a long way in the last 6 months. So, we had a good talk about you today. Dalton Love's getting better every time I see him. I had the Bulletproof Posse, Dirty Birds, Kelly Club, Dutch Boy Platinum. He's come a long way in 2022. Then I had Damian DeVille, Christian Cash, Jake Elliott was a guy who always came to the ring as a manager somewhat, and now he's wrestling everywhere. And then I had John Scratch, and I don't know if you guys have seen him, but
yeah. No, I haven't seen him. He came on the show and done an interview with us. I haven't got to see him live yet.
So my top 5 ended up being like top 11, but because like he said, I kept coming up with names, and
you start sitting down and trying to put down a list. It's difficult for anybody that's never done it.
All right, mine.
Yep.
I think I did mine a little bit different than that. I just went by like people I thought was going to watch out for in 2023. I have Carson Drake. We've seen him a few times. I think he's somebody to keep an eye on. Luke Savage. I think Luke Savage got a big start in 2022. I think he's going to have a great year in 2023.
That match he had this past weekend was really good.
Yeah. Another one, Dalton Love. I think he's another young guy that's on his way up in the business. Logan Myers. I bet right after I said it, I bet Logan Myers is on Chris' list. Yeah, Logan Myers as well. I think he's improved. I mean, the difference from when we first got to see Logan Myers, little over a year ago, just the improvement he's made. I think he's gonna have a big year. Zay Gates. I'm with you guys. I think that dude has a lot of talent, and he's really starting to grow into that talent. To see the improvement he's made, because when we first got to see him, he hadn't had very many matches at all. Yeah. So we kind of seen him grow all the way through. And then a couple honorable mentions I had was the Dirty Birds, Brody Botkins. He's gonna be coming back off off an injury. I thought he was really picking up some steam before he got hurt. And then also Dylan Cole. The improvement he's made from the first time I saw him in the ring to now is unreal. So I think he's another guy to watch out for.
We've got to see a lot of Dylan Cole at the 2 or 3 different places we go. So we get to see a lot of him, and we see the improvement. Just like we've seen, in the last year, we've seen with guys like Dutch Boy Platinum and JB and Rachel and Logan Myers. When we first started doing this, we got to see some of their first matches very early.
Yeah.
And how much they've improved is just unbelievable.
I think did Marcus already do his?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, our next category, and Marcus, we'll let you go first on this one. It's going to be Female Wrestler of the Year.
All right. In no particular order. Rachel Armstrong, I'm sure, is on all our lists. If she's not, I'll be really surprised. Logan Couture. She had the injury earlier in the year and came back stronger than ever. Alice Crawley. Ari Alexander. Got to see her yesterday. Seen her a few times this past year. Blair Onyx. We've seen her at Summit Pro one time. DJ the Disaster. She works JICW. I think she's worked a few WCWO shows. She's worked a few NGW shows. So Kate Parrish is working on it. She's still got a ways to go. And then I had Billy Starks, even though I did not see Billy Starks in person at all in 2022. So she's on the list, even though I did not see her.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, Chris, I'll go next. If that's okay with you.
That's fine.
My list, I had Mickey Knuckles. Got to see her a long time ago, and then I got to see her this year. I've seen her on video many times. She's outstanding. Logan Couture, seen her quite a few times. Was really impressed when I seen her at BMFX and that match against Del Patrick's, which I thought was outstanding. Ari Alexander, seen her 2 or 3 times. She's outstanding. Seen her in a great hardcore match early in 2022. Rachel Armstrong, just like I said, I've seen a lot of her, probably more than anybody. And also the next one, she's probably seen more than any of them. Rachel Armstrong is just fantastic. She's getting out there all over the place now. Everybody's seeing how talented she is. She's just fantastic. And then my last one was Alice Crowley. Who's just one of the best in Indiana for sure. And I think we'll be seeing a lot of people on this list will, especially the last couple, we're going to be seeing some big things from them in the future, I'm sure.
All right, on mine, I have Billy Starks. It's the same thing with, like Marcus said, I haven't seen her live, but I've seen a lot of video, video of her. And we just watched her wrestle a couple weeks ago on TV for Game Changer against like a 7 foot tall.
big lady.
But Mickey Knuckles, got to see her quite a bit. I was really impressed with her when we saw her at Thunder or Blunder at the earlier this year.
Yep.
And then Ari Alexander, like you said, we've seen her, and she's been doing wrestling all over the place. Rachel Armstrong, and Rachel's been wrestling all over the place. And we got to see her. I think wasn't it like her 3rd match, if I remember correctly?
I think so.
We saw her 3rd match ever, and then see the improvement she's made from then to now has been amazing. And then Alice Crowley, she's always been one of my favorites, and I've said it on here before. I think she could be on one of the big companies right now. I think she's just as good as some of the women that are on AEW.
I agree.
But that's my list for the female wrestler of the year.
Okay. Well, next up was the wrestler of the year. Our next award.
Real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris. It might not be tonight, but yeah, I'll get a copy of Marcus's list. And I'll make graphics, and we'll post a list. That way, you guys will be able to go back and see it. All right, good.
Okay. I'll go first on this one.
What are we doing?
Doing wrestler of the year.
We're already.
Well, I kind of.
Still got a hardcore is category somewhere in there.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
we
we got
the wrestler of the year, so I got
okay.
it.
Okay, wrestler of the year. I'll go first if that's okay with you. On my list, I had Nate Matthews. We've seen him. I believe, at BMFX and also War Pro Wrestling. We've seen him at those places. Outstanding, outstanding performer. Another one that I could see at some of the big companies. Next on my list, you just heard her name on the female list, is Alice Crowley. She's there at Summit Pro. She's their champion. She's helped carrying that company and wrestling women and men, and most of the time wrestling men, and it's just phenomenal. Jeremy Hadley, who I think has been all over the place at several promotions, one of the best talented wrestlers, especially vocally, and his heel work's outstanding. Blake Money Wright, World Pro Wrestling, WCWO, DCCW, and other places around Indiana, everywhere, and also Cincinnati and Illinois and Michigan and South Bend, all over. And then also Dex Royal, DCCW, and WCWO, and also wrestles all over. I know BMFX and other places. But then were my 5 people I had up for the Wrestler of the Year. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Okay, Mark's gonna go.
Well, okay, I put it as like the best male. I did the females in one category and males on the other. So, of course, I had Nate Matthews. I've known Nate for a while, and yeah, Nate Matthews, Dutch Boy Platinum. I had Juwan Thomas and Blake Money Wright, Jake Oman, Jeremy Hagley, and Carson Drake. Main event stars anywhere.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And have been main event stars everywhere. So,
Okay, on mine I have Dutch Boy Platinum. Improvement he's made, and he's been wrestling all over the place. But I'll tell you what, I think it was probably about the middle of last year. I think he really hit his stride.
mhm.
And then Nate Matthews, we've seen him at, like Dad mentioned, a couple different places. Eric Dillinger, we've seen him a few times, and he's been wrestling everywhere and really making a name for himself.
Yep.
Dex Royal, Juwan Thomas. Juwan Thomas, we've been seeing him all the time. And getting to see him a lot. Like I said, him and we talked about that feud earlier with him and Dex Royal. You put them two together, it's going to be an awesome match.
Yeah.
And then I would also put Blake Money Wright in that conversation, and Jeremy Hadley would be kind of my couple honorable mentions. It was hard to narrow it down to 5.
Oh yeah, I could have put 10 more on there. Okay, I think we're ready for the next one. Next one I'm gonna go to is gonna be the best hardcore or like stipulation match. And Marcus, if you want to, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, let me get there.
When you're ready.
There we go. Yeah, like I said, you have it listed as hardcore, but it's just that non-traditional wrestling. All right. In no particular order, J.H. Hogg versus Justin Terrell in the bull rope match. Chris Chaos, and this is one you guys hadn't seen. Chris Chaos took on Brutal Ben Baker in a hardcore match earlier in 2022 in Martinsville. Pookie versus Max Sterling. That was also JICW does a lot of hardcore, so they have 3 or 4 matches every show, so that's why more of them coming out of Martinsville. But the Great Pookie took it to Max Sterling in JICW. Jason Levi versus Justin Myers in a hardcore match. New Generation Wrestling for the title. What? Anyhow, Jason Levi won the title. Yeah, he's something else. Jason Levi won the title that night. Jared Kripke versus King Fury at the Austin Fury Memorial Show. And then I had a couple of honorable mentions. Jordan James and Itch in a cage out back of the WCW arena. Tyler Scott versus Austin Ryan. That was in Danville, Illinois, at New Version Wrestling. And Austin Ryan took on Logan for tour over there at New Version Wrestling also. I did them honorable mention since they were across the border. So
Okay.
Okay, on my list I have Mike King and Dalton Love versus JKO and Luke Savage at DCCW Cornfield Carnage. That was an awesome match.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
And then I have JKO versus Mike King at Rock and Roll Never Dies. That's the match where Joey and them took over our table, but they went through tables.
Mike went through that table.
And
They
then
exploded that table.
Hardcore Charles versus Kayla Cassidy at Thunder Blunder 2. They're at the Outlaw Arena. Actually, that's almost about a year.
Yep.
A year ago from today.
Yep, just about.
I'll say that's coming up on a year.
And then Hillbilly Jed versus Calvin Tankman at Summit Pro, where it was a last man standing match. I've never seen a chair bend backwards like it did in that match.
Yeah.
And then Del Patrick's versus Shane Mercer at Thunder Blunder 2 as well. In that hardcore match they had there that night. There at the Outlaw Arena.
Well, I'm surprised I didn't make my list because I was there for that too. So
Yep. Okay.
See,
I'll go now. Yeah, it's hard, man. Next, I had Hillbilly Jed and Calvin Tankman in that last man standing match. I also had Jake Carter and Blake Money Wright at Fair Fight in the steel cage match. Thought it was outstanding. Had JKO and Luke Savage versus Dalton Love and Ladies Man Mike King at the DCCW County Cornfield Carnage. I also had Hardcore Charlie and Kayla Cassidy at Thunder and Blunder. And one that Chris knew this was coming because it's one of my favorite matches, a dog collar match with Chet Ripley and Aiden Blackheart at the Show for Bubba there in Jeffersonville at the Jeffersonville Arena. It just was outstanding. Yeah, super entertaining match. So that was my 5. Next up, we have Best Technical Wrestler. Chris, if you want to go first when you're ready.
All right. Best Technical Wrestler I have again. Let's see, I have Nate Matthews. We've seen him at WPW. We've seen him at, where else we seen him? WPW. We've seen him somewhere else, but for some reason I'm drawing a blank.
Who's this? Nate
Matthews.
BMFX.
Yeah, BMFX.
World Pro.
Then Jake Oman. I don't know how hasn't ever been on TV in a full-time job. I think the dude's outstanding. Ace Perry. If you haven't seen him, we've got the chance to see him at Summit Pro and a couple other places, but a really talented young guy. Dutch Boy Platinum, again, like he's won out, just his improvement technically has been outstanding. And then Apollo Star is to be the other one I have on my list.
Yep. And I'm going to add a couple here on mine. I'm going to go next if that's okay. I'm going to go to 7 on this. Logan Myers and also having a brain fart. Blake Money Wright. Then I had also had Ace Perry. We've seen him at Summit Pro quite a bit. Jake Oman, like Chris said, we've seen him at Thunder and Blunder. Seen him at DCCW. Just outstanding. Knows got his own promotion. Just outstanding. I agree with Chris how he never made it big. It don't make sense. Another one, IK3. Seen him at DCCW and WCWO. Just another outstanding performer. Dutch Boy Platinum. Seen him all over WCWO, World Pro Wrestling, DCCW, and then Nate Matthews, which mostly seen at World Pro Wrestling. I also seen him at BMFX. So that was my best technical wrestlers.
All right, I got more than 5.
It's hard.
Of course, Nate Matthews, we've all said yes. Christian Cash, he's been at the Dub, but he don't get the push at the Dub that he does at AACW. Dutch Boy Platinum. I had Damien DeVille.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
John Scratch. And then I had, of course, Dex Royal, Jake Oman, Jared Kripke. He can be technical. And have you guys seen Jack Vaughn?
Now, just seen him recently. Well, I've seen him on tape, and then I've seen him on TV.
We
Seen him
did see him on
seen him
TV.
on OVW here just very recently.
You know, I seen Jack take on Jake Ullman. So think of what that match was like. So
All right.
then there was Jared Bird, and I don't even know what category he wants me to put him in, but
What we got next?
Okay, let me just double check everything here. Okay, I believe I'm up to the best babyface. And if you guys want, I'll go first this time. We're a little unconventional on this because I went with a tag team because they're so over everywhere they go, and that's the highlight reel. I mean, I've seen the way the crowds react. I've seen them at several different places, and I know the home base is WCW and DCCW, but I've seen them BMFX. I've seen them other places. They're over wherever they go, and just outstanding. Alice Crowley, another one. I see how the crowds react to her. Summit Pro and other places. Jake Carter. Seen him at WTF, and then home base World Pro Wrestling.
New Era.
New Era also, yep. But just does an outstanding job. G.W.R, again, seen him all over WCW, DCCW, kind of his home place. And then another one, I've seen him wrestle at probably 5-6 different places, gets over wherever he goes, and that's Jared Kripke. I think he just does a great job. And so that's the 5 I had down for the best babyface. Marcus, you want to go?
yeah, I had Jared Kripke as well. Rachel Armstrong, Jake Carter, same thing. Did you mention he was at Wrestling Theology? I think you said that, right? WTF.
I think I did.
I don't know if
Yeah.
not only,
I
but
know.
yeah, he was at
We've
WTF
seen
as
him
well.
there also. Yeah,
Yeah. Christian Cash, again, he does very well in Kokomo. So
that's true.
Jordan James, whoever figured a year ago he'd be on this list, the babyface side of it, and then Dex Royal is who I had.
All
And then,
right.
of course, you said Alice Crawley, and you're right. And again, like you said, you forget.
Yeah, well, it's
there's a lot-
hard.
Yeah.
The names I have, I think both you guys have mentioned them all. Jared Kripke, that dude's over. He's over wherever I've seen him at. He gets the crowd. As soon as he comes out of that curtain, that crowd goes, and it don't matter what promotion it is. Dex Royal is another one. He always gets the crowd behind him. Rachel Armstrong, Jake Carter, and then Alice Crowley was also on my list. Because I mean, she gets a good reaction no matter where I've seen her at as well.
Yep. Okay, well, getting down to about 3 categories left. We're going to start now with the best heel, and Chris, I'll let you lead this one off.
All right, best heel. Got Jordan James. Marcus just mentioned it's kind of funny seeing him on the best babyface side of things because he's so good as a heel, and you get used to seeing him as a heel, then you see him pop up at a different promotion as a babyface. It's a little weird. Same thing with another person on the list, Jeremy Hadley. Seeing that dude as a babyface is kind of mind blowing. But I'll tell you what, Jeremy Hadley I think is excellent. He's entertaining. He's good in the ring, and he's great as a heel. Vinny Vachetti, I think Vinny does an awesome job as a heel. I love the promos and stuff that he puts out. Jawan Thomas, I think he's a great heel, and I know Marcus will say it. Marcus said he gets him because he makes him not like him. So I think he does a great job as a heel. And the ladies' man Mike King, I've seen him as a heel at a bunch of different organizations.
Yep.
And he gets heat. He gets heat everywhere.
Nuclear. Marcus, you want to go?
Well, Chris practically had my entire list, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway.
Okay, I'm about the same too.
Jeremy Hagley, I mean, come on, you cannot deny the guy is very good at what he does. Anyhow, I had Aaron Atlas as a heel. Aaron Atlas plays heel in Danville, Illinois, and the people hate him. and I think he does it in other places too. Yeah, Buck Sexton's getting there. But anyway, Hagley, Aaron Atlas, of course, Juwan Thomas. As I've said, if you can irritate me with a guy that kind of knows what's going on, then you've done your job.
Yep.
Vinny's shoot. I've known Vinny forever, and Vinny knows how to play heel. Blake Money Wright. I had Justin Terrell, and I had Mike King. There you go, Mike. You made a category, including me in a storyline in this past, and that went damn good. That's all I could say.
Yep. Okay, this was tough for me. I have 8 on this list. Of course, I had ladies man Mike King. Like I said, he's Nuclear Heat and Kokomo and other places. I mean, just outstanding. Juwan Thomas, another one, just outstanding. Like I know he's pissed off Marcus several times. So yeah, he's outstanding. Jordan James is another get Nuclear Heat too. You know, just walking out WCW at times when he was a heel. Another one that I think is outstanding is Carson Drake. Just fabulous. Vinny Fischetti, without saying. I mean, dude's fantastic. His character's just great. Blake Money Wright, just outstanding. Also, the King, Mitchell Taylor. Seeing him get Nuclear Heat and some of the stuff I've heard him say.
I'm not going to repeat right now, but yeah,
man, what he said at the
Juneteenth show.
Show was unbelievable, and of course Jeremy Hadley. So I had 8 on my list because I could have I couldn't get it down to 5. So it got some great heels here in Indiana. Okay,
if people could see the list, like how many times you scribble out,
You got, and I was adding names after you guys were talking. Sitting here, so
yep. Okay, next up we got show of the year. And if it's okay with you guys, I'll go first on this one. I had AACW Into the Sun. Thought it was a great show there in Kokomo. I mean, if I remember right, they had to add more seats. The bleachers were full there at that facility. It was an awesome show. Had Summit Pros, TJ Kemp's retirement show. It was just a great show, and it was awesome to be there. WCW Cagemas, I know it was an outstanding show also. World Pro, I ended up with 6 on this category. World Pro Wrestling Fair Fight, another one there. It was at the fair. Probably had 400 or 500 people there, maybe even more. Just a great show. Capped off with that cage match. The super show. Then I had DCCW J County Cornfield Carnage, another one. 500-600 people. Just awesome show. And then also a DCCW Bearcat Rumble. Just outstanding show. We had Carlito there, and they had Primo and Epico. Just a great show. So them were my shows of the year. Chris, you want to go?
Yeah, I have WPW Fair Fight. Of course, there in Danville, Indiana. I thought that was an awesome show there during the fair. Jared talking to Chris Chaos. But anyway, I gotta quit watching that. I said WPW, right? Thunder or Blunder 2. The show was a little long, but the match card was great, and I mean there really wasn't a bad match on the show.
Oh, yeah. It could have made,
but yeah, it was a lot. Really enjoyed it. WCW Cagemas, Summit Pro to the Limit. That's when they crowned their first champion. That whole show was good. Bearcat Rumble, like you said, with Epico, Primo, Carlito. I thought IK3 and Carlito put on a great match there.
Yep.
Juwan Thomas and Dex Royal match. I mean, we was all 3 at that show. There wasn't a bad match on that show.
No.
And then Cornfield Carnage, where you DCCW, you had Mick Foley, the Boogeyman, like 600 fans in the building. It was just an awesome night, and it kicked off the show with a match between Jake Oman and Jonathan Wolf for IK3 that was just awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Marcus.
I had a lot of the same ones. Most of mine sellouts. If you had to pull more seats, then it kind of really made the list. Of course, Cagemas, like I said, they had them thank you for Cagemas and the weather, I guess, because we almost didn't go because the weather got bad and they postponed it a week.
Yeah.
And they had people, like I said, standing up against the wall, adding more seats, under the stairs, up the stairs. Fair fight at the Danville Fairgrounds. AACW into the sunset. Then I had JICW's The Austin Fury Memorial Show. That was a packed house for one of our fallen who passed away 2019, maybe 2020. I'm not sure. Thunder or Blunder 2. Then I had the TJ retirement match show and the Bearcat Rumble. Every one of those shows had at least 400 people, I'm guessing. Packed houses, we'll say that.
Yeah, Jared, you talking about the debut of King Kong. You should have made the list of best heel just for them shorts you wore
Yeah.
at that show. You should be the greatest heel of all time just for them shorts you wear.
Yeah,
I still think you should came out there with no shirt on.
Oh,
we had to get used to those white legs before we could get used to the upper half.
couldn't hardly see. Did we all go on that? I believe we did.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we're down to our last category. That's match of the year. Marcus, I'll let you lead this one off if you'd like to.
Okay, again, mine's, I think you guys may have been to all these. So I have Dutch Boy Platinum versus Nate Matthews 2. I thought Cagemas was good, but the rematch was better when Dutch Boy pinned him for the title. Or didn't now Nate pinned Dutch for the title. JKO and Vinny Fischetti at Cagemas. I had Shane Mercer versus Dale Patricks at Thunder or Blunder. I had Blake. Now I have Jake Oman on here twice. Blake versus Jake Oman at Thunder or Blunder 2, and they both passed out. And then I had Jake Oman versus Jeremy Hagley at the Veterans Show. And the only reason I didn't put Jake Oman in IK3 is because I was not there. I seen it on your guys. I was watching it while you guys were airing it, but we wasn't there. Dex Royal versus Juan Thomas at the Bearcat Rumble. Title for title, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought so. Then I have one that not really a main event, but if you remember Damian DeVille, Johnny Crisis, and Justin Danger in that three-way
that was really good.
triple threat. And then I had, and you guys wasn't at this one, Jack Vaughn versus Jake Oman. So I guess he's on there 3 times.
Yeah.
I guess if you put Jake Oman in a match, you're going to have a match. So
that's right.
He almost needs to be eliminated just because he's automatically on there. But that was at White River Wrestling's his White River Wrestling show I attended.
So I have Jake Oman and IK3 at DCCW Cornfield Carnage. That match was just awesome. Especially to be an opening match to kick off a show. It was great. And then I have Jake Oman versus Blake Money Wright at Thunder Blunder 2. Juwan Thomas versus Dex Royal at Bearcat Rumble. Nate Matthews versus Cole Radrick at Warrior Pro Wrestling 7. They put on a heck of a show that day.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
that was great. That was a great match.
And then Alice Crowley versus Sean Kemp
Another
at Summit Pro Danger Zone. Were the 5 that I had.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had Highlight Reel versus Primo and Epico at DCCW Bearcat Rumble. I had Jake Carter and Blake Wright at Warrior Pro Wrestling Fair Fight. I had Jake Oman and Blake Wright at Thunder and Blunder. I had Dex Royal and Juwan Thomas at the Bearcat Rumble. And I had Jake Oman and IK3 DCCW J County Cornfield Carnage. I think that concludes it, guys.
I went through my list. I got all of them.
Yep.
And again, like I said, if you didn't make the list, it's not because you didn't put the effort in. It's just because we've seen so much stuff that.
Yep. I mean, Marcus almost seemed almost double what we've seen. So I can imagine how hard it is for you.
And I didn't go back through the pictures. I basically went from what I remembered. And like I said, Kelly was here one day and we were just talking, and we didn't go back and look at what we seen through the photographs. We just basically went what we remembered. So
Mike King says that's another flawed category.
and see, I've already got stuff to start next year's already. So what little we've hit
Let me ask
8
you.
matches this year, and so we've already got stuff for the categories next year already.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you had this, what's the best match you've seen so far this year?
Well, was it Emerge? I can't remember seeing now. I don't see a lot of Emerge. It was Big Beef and Cole Radrick. That was the 3 stages of hell, I think is what they called it. They did a normal match. They did a Falls Count Anywhere, and I'm thinking it was like a hardcore. That's the one where they creamed into me. I don't know if you guys heard that story.
Yeah.
Where he put the trash can on the guy's head and he ran the wrong direction and just smashed into me and Roger. And yeah, that was outstanding. And then Jeremy, well, sorry, we don't know that. A masked wrestler then attacked Big Beef in the parking lot. So I can't, sorry if I slipped on that, but
David Kraft says great show. Mike King says Mike King and IK3 versus the highlight reel WCW 11, and that was
That was good.
2023.
Yeah, that's 2023.
I seen that. That was good.
But
And
wasn't that 2023?
yeah, that was 2023.
And I wasn't there.
And
Well, I think he's maybe saying that's what he's saying.
He's answering your question. Best match of this year.
Okay. Well, yeah,
That's
it
what
might
he's
be.
saying.
I haven't seen it. How
Yeah,
about,
I was there.
how
It was good.
many shows we've been to now? 'Cause we missed some shows. So
I think we done what? I think we only done one in January, which was Summit Pro. I got sick,
well, no, we did.
and then we done
Summit, and then we just did.
NGW and Summit again.
Trying to think.
That's a hard
Warrior
one.
Pro, see, we had to leave early because Kelly got sick, but they opened the match with Nate Matthews and Logan Myers, 30 minutes. That's another match of the year, too. Canagated already. But we've hit 6 matches, 6 full shows, and 2 partials. So, you know it, brother. I've seen Dutch Boy everywhere.
Oh yeah, Dutch Boy's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best for sure.
That's why Dutch Boy was on 2 or 3 different categories. I think of all of ours.
Yeah. Right now, matches really stands out to me when I seen this this past weekend. I really enjoyed. It was you may have to help me with the name, Chris. It was
Savage,
Luke Savage against
Jason Levi.
Jason Levi. I really enjoyed that match. Really
And
good.
last month they did it was Jason Levi and Dalton Love. So
Oh, man. Talking to Chris Chaos.
Okay. Well, I hope we didn't piss anybody off. That's not what we was trying to do.
we're not. No, it was all fun.
We just love wrestling, and we've seen a lot of matches. I'm sure we forgot some stuff. I'm sure. I mean,
From the comments, it seems like most people have enjoyed it.
yeah. We
And
seen a lot of good
even
wrestling.
Chris Chaos made a comment that he said he appreciates us doing this, and that and that it'll make people work harder to try to be on the list next year. So
Hey, I mean, we've seen a lot of good wrestling, and again, we didn't go by stuff we didn't see. I mean, we try to go pretty much, like I said, 99% of it that I put out here, I seen it. So
yeah, I didn't give you anything I did not see in person.
So,
like I said, that's why none of the Mick Foley show hit it. I've seen it.
yeah,
but I
you've
wasn't
seen
there.
it,
So
but you wasn't there. Yeah.
like so, if you're a wrestler listener and you haven't been on the show and you'd like to come do an interview,
Hey,
just hit me up on social media at Chris Deegan's also on Facebook or at Gonzo'S Sports Room on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, whatever. We can get something scheduled. If you're a promoter and we haven't been to your show and you'd like us to come out to a show, let us know.
Joey.
Joey, this
well, then we
so
take
bad.
back all your nominations. You hit the list a bunch, so we'll just have to remove those.
Yeah. Another thing, again, we would like to do at least
Mike King.
To that dick. Okay, but we would love to do at least 2 or 3 interviews a week. So if you haven't been on the show, like Chris said, get a hold of him. Or if you have been on the show and it's been a while, you want to do it again, we would love to do it. Also want to make a special announcement. Starting next Monday, we're going to be doing a show every Monday at 6:30. We're going to be me, Chris, and Marcus. We're going to be doing a
Yeah, we're gonna start GWR.
GWR wrestling show, and we'll be talking old school wrestling. We'll be talking independent wrestling. We'll be talking a little bit, what's going on with, with if there's a big story with WWE or stuff like that. So that's going to start next Monday. The topics, main ones are going to be Dusty Rhodes. We'll be talking a lot about Dusty Rhodes, and also, and if you guys want to be included, we're looking for your top 3 favorite underrated wrestlers.
Underrated wrestlers.
We're not looking. Yeah, not looking for big stars. We're not looking for your Stone Colds and your Hall of Famers. We're looking for guys,
people ww didn't make it but should have.
Yeah, I mean, could have been close, but no cigar, whatever. And for example, I'll tell you a couple of mine. Hacksaw Butch Reed. I know he was in WWE as the natural Butch Reed, but Hacksaw Butch Reed was one of my favorites there in the Mid South area. In the 80s, early 80s. And then another one for me, and this is going back a long way. A gentleman by the name of Prince Pullins, who wrestled for Dick the Bruiser, and he was never a huge star, at least not as far as I know. And he was growing up as a kid. I mean, he was my guy, even though he didn't win that much. So that's just to give you an idea. And some of you younger guys, you're gonna be looking at closer to these days. I know I've got some lists of some wrestlers to give me, and some guys are picking newer guys that haven't made it yet, and that's fine. I mean, I understand. They can't go back to the 60s and 70s like me and Marcus can. And
I'm still laughing about the 3 Lances. That would kill me when you showed me that.
Well, the one Lance Bass, he, if I remember correctly, he's in the New Kids on the Block or one of those. But them 2 yahoos, who knows what they're coming up with? Jesse Winchester and Buck Sexton. So,
the Burnsville show's NGW in Burnsville.
That's NGW. Yeah.
Rachel
we made our first
on that, and I'm sure the Dirty Birds and Bulletproof, Dex, and Highlights. I'm trying to remember what Larry told me today.
And we made our debut at NGW over the weekend. They're in Crawfordsville, but yeah, that's another show.
Mike.
Bobo Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mighty Eagle.
There you go.
Well, Bobo Brazil is pretty big.
Yeah. Well, he was for. He's got a history. Well, you could put him in the Dusty Rhodes, because you say we're going to talk about Dusty Rhodes. Maybe we can do Bobo Brazil one time, because it'd be in that.
Yep.
Because
Mike King does.
32 people live in. I think that's right. I don't think very many people live there.
No, it's a town under 300. But dude, how many times have you sold out that gym yourself, Jared? I mean, you've rooked that building a lot. So.
I agree. NGW is awesome, Higby. They had a really good show, and the crowd was great.
Yeah, like I said, Sunday show was not as many as Saturdays, but it was hot and very good. Yes.
Also, don't forget Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, Dutch Boy Platinum will be making his return to GWR. So join us for that. And Mike King, we'll get you booked.
Yeah. Has he ever?
Ready, man. Come on.
Has Mike ever Has Mike ever been on where he's not promoting a show? Because every time I've seen him, he's always promoting one of his shows. Has he ever been on?
I think so.
He's been on. It's one back when we kind of first started. He came on and just kind of talked about the business and
some stories.
Told some stories and stuff.
Oh, that's the one you deleted by accident. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we got to get him on and
yeah, I'd like to hear his story. And I'm all serious, Mike. I'd like to hear your story.
Yeah, I'd like to get him on, and we got to get some announcements for some DCCW shows and get that going. So,
yeah,
Jared, didn't you used to work for Top Notch Wrestling at one time as well?
Yeah, so the first show we done with him, we called Chronicles 1 because he's going to come back for a second one.
Yep.
We just haven't. All the other times he came back since he's been promoting the show. So yeah, I want to get him back on where he's not just promoting the show.
Because I was thinking I first seen him at Top Notch Wrestling in Indy. Is that right, Mike? Do you remember? Yeah, I'll definitely go back and look at it. Chris told me he's
Yeah.
filed all those in a little different, easier to find them. So
He said way back
Yeah.
in the day for Top Notch.
I was there. That's where I thought we met. Well, sort of met. That's where you first started yelling at me.
I want to ask you something, Marcus. He mentioned the interview we got.
Yeah, I can send you that. I'll send you the link to that interview.
Yeah,
To
I'd
that
like to see
interview,
it.
Marcus.
Okay. And that mentioned that I was going to ask Marcus about this. You mentioned the interview with Dutch Boy Platinum. In the last year, is there anybody that's improved more than Dutch Boy Platinum?
Well, yeah. Well, more or as much?
Well, I'm saying more because I don't see how anybody more. 'Cause
Well,
that dude,
Zay Gates has really come a long way, but
Yeah.
Dutch Boy for Zay Gates still a rookie. I still because he may have a year under his belt, but Dutch has got a couple. I'm thinking.
and this
So,
last
yeah,
year,
2022 was good for Dutch Boy. Yes.
oh man, phenomenal.
I can
I
say
mean,
about
they-
the middle of 2022, it was like he just hit another gear.
Another one too, Logan Myers, especially last 3
Yeah.
months.
Well, Dutch Boy's got a big match coming up with Dex Royal at the fairgrounds in Boone County on April 1st. It's a cage match. That's a feud going right now.
That's what.
Logan
Awesome.
just beat Nate Matthews for the Warrior Pride champion last month, and he quit the dub. I don't know. That's what he put on when they did the draft. But Logan, and Max Sterling put on a good match yesterday. So
Yeah, I bet.
All right.
and
Yeah. You
Blake
got
Money
anything
Wright got
else?
hurt.
No.
Go ahead, Marcus. What was that?
Said Blake Money Wright got hurt, and if he's on here and he can want to fill us in, I know I heard it might have been a sprained ankle or a broken ankle, but I'm only going by what I heard.
That's true. A great comeback here for Mike King.
Well, I think him and TVZ, they're stirring up WCWO.
That's what I hear. I hear they've been stirring stuff up over there.
For him
WCW.
to be a high roller, because that was Dice Man Ronnie Vegas, and I can't not remember. I think it was like Dallas James, and I think TJ Powers was part of that group, and so yeah, being a high roller, that's a second generation team, I think. But Mike can help me out with that. I like the fact that he's keeping Dice Man's legacy going. Dice is one of my favorites, so to have him come out with that music and yeah,
I love that music.
That'll make Joey happy.
Oh. Yeah, them two will be going at it.
Yep.
how much they pay you for that? How much they pay you to say that? He's at your house, isn't he?
Oh, here.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter, Austin James, Rob Kim. Yeah, I knew there was a lot of them. Austin James and TJ Powers used to work Top Notch Wrestling, and they put on little skits like the Ruthless Domination is right now, making fun of their opponents. But the Bounty Hunter, Rob Kincaid, yeah, bless you. Yep, that was good. Yeah, did you guys ever see Dice Man?
I'm not sure. I think we did.
Yeah, I think we've probably seen him maybe once.
Yeah, Dice is one of the top choppers. Dice Man, Bobo Brazil Jr., and Don Basher, Mercy. They knew how to chop. In fact, you can ask Mike King how he likes being chopped by Bobo Brazil Jr. I got a video of it if you want to see it.
Mike, who gave you the hardest chop you ever took?
Billy Buzz. Billy says, "Who has the greatest intro music
Of all time? Well, I don't know. What do you think about that? Who's got the best intro music?
That might be a good
Yeah,
topic.
that'd be a good topic.
Well, I like I said, since I was a big Dice Man. Once I hear Mike King and that music, I love that stuff.
Yeah, Mike King.
I mean that yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy was talking about
Yes. It's a
pro
video. It's a video, Jared. Remember, Mrs. Bower likes to see that video.
Jay, I know how to chop.
Jay.
Oh, I do have a picture of his chest after he got chopped. I'll have to send that out there.
Jared, is that the hardest chop you ever took from Bobo?
I think we need to get Jay here and let JKO give him a chop.
Yeah, Joey does really good too. He learned well from his dad.
Yeah.
The good thing about Basher was he could do a chop on a female that it sounded like he hit a man. Of course, you can't chop a woman like you, especially 20 years ago. But there was a female manager at a show, and Basher supposedly chopped her, and it was just as loud because he smacked his leg, he smacked something, but he made the sound, and it sounded legit. But he could, Basher, that was one of the initiations for the rookies, was to go through that chop fest with all them guys. So, and a lot of the promoters would use dice as for smart ass kids that thought they were bigger than they was. They just put them in the ring with dice, and he'd smarten them up. So,
All right. Mike King says, so Joey has hard chops. As of right now, I'd have to say, yes, Bo has been the chop so far for me. He said Bo has literally split him open.
Yeah, I got a picture and a video. I'll send it to you guys. It was a show that Shane Cowsard actually put on, but it wasn't an AACW show. It was, I don't know if that show even had a title. It was at another gym there in Kokomo. And Bo and Mike were the main event that night.
Mike King said Joey has hard chops. As of now, he would say Bo has been the hardest. But he said Bo literally split him open.
Really?
So I took 3 chops, and that was enough. Joey Owens, Dex Royal, and Max Sterling all got me that night.
Nothing against Mac, but Mac's another one of those big baby faces too. You can put that on the list. See, now you brought his name up. So
Yep.
And he's got good entrance music too.
Yep.
But Mac, I don't see Mac doing a lot of chops all the time.
Music. I'm talking pro.
On pro or like
like WWE, NWA.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
That'd be a category we could do.
In the independents, it's Mike King and and IK3.
Yep, I like those.
Yeah, you need to do it. We need to do one of that subject you brought up Saturday about would Flair and Hogan be big shots if they didn't have a title to go with them. So,
yep.
Said Bo and I did a match in Akron, Ohio, and we made the people believe everything we did was 100%.
Yeah, Bo's a good worker.
So they still talk about it to this day.
Yeah, I remember Bo and his Calypso Jim. In fact, he was in the first match I'd ever seen live. He wrestled Supermax, one of the World Warriors.
Seen a good match here this past year. It was Bobo Jr. and
Jed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was very good.
Yep. Yes, it was. Jed was in a good match yesterday with Cole Radrick.
Yeah,
that Cole's another one to watch.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how them guys do that death match shit. You should see
his back.
You should have saw his back.
We seen him when he was at Emerge. He took his shirt off. I told Kelly, I says, look, it looks like Dale Patrick. See, Dale Patrick's still starting to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
But if Dale Patrick's didn't have his shirt on, his back is just riddled. And Cole Radrick's the same way.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Motorhead, Triple H, yeah.
Well, I like the Undertaker's when he was on the biker.
Yeah.
Rolling out. Yeah.
Yep.
And The Rock, of course, I don't know if it was a good, but when it hit, that's when the fans went nuts. Hey, I agree. It's a special breed to do that glass. I asked Joey Saturday, I said, so who are you leaving the dub to when you go to Jeffersonville? Said you got the glass breakers in there. He says, I give them specific rules. And
I know he's leaving 3 there. He's leaving
he's leaving Pete and Phil, and I don't know who the third one was.
Mike Lee.
Okay,
Skull Crusher, yeah.
Yeah, he needed it. Because I asked him, I said, you got to have somebody watching that because the whole show is booked on glass, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. I know that one show they did that I watched on pay-per-view here month ago. That's all it was. They had that big tower. That's what that was. That great big old tower of glass.
I'd like to go watch one live at least one time, but man, it is great. And doing it in them small buildings, I just think, man, that glass flying around.
About Mike.
Yeah, he said Mike's too sexy for a shirt. But all right, you got anything else before we
No, I'm ready to go.
close it out for tonight?
Go watch Monday Night Raw.
I knew that's what you were ready for.
Yep.
You got anything else, Marcus?
I don't believe so.
Everybody, don't forget next Monday, 6:30, we'll be on here. We'll be talking some old school wrestling, some new school wrestling, independent, a little bit of everything. So
we appreciate it, Mike.
Hey, well, that meant it was halfway good too. So to get a 50-50 out of Mike King, that's not bad.
no, that's true. That's pretty good for Mike.
And we got it. You guys suck from Joey, so we're doing good.
Yeah, well, that's typical from Joey.
Oh, who he have? He had Zay Gates. Yeah, he had Zay Gates tell us that we suck. Remember?
He sent a message.
He said, Joey told me to give you guys a message.
You guys suck.
He said, yeah, I was in over half the categories. The only thing that was good. No, but before we get out of here, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. We greatly appreciate it. You can find I think we've done 43 professional wrestling shows now. You can find them all on our YouTube page. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. That's where we post all the information about our shows, all at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Please hit that subscribe button, like and follow. We appreciate it.
Show tonight,
11 p.m. Eastern, GSR Gonzo Sports Room. And then, like I said, don't forget the big interview Wednesday with Dutch Boy Platinum. That's going to be at 5:30 on Wednesday. And then we'll have some more announcements coming out about some more interviews here real soon. Yeah, and probably about some wrestling shows. We're working on the schedule for next few weeks.
I think we'll do a UFC. I think Saturday.
Yeah,
we'll do a UFC show Saturday. A watch alongs.
So we'll follow us on social media so you don't miss anything. Thanks for joining us. This has been G.W.R. our first annual awards show. And we will see you guys hopefully tonight for GSR Gonzo Sports Room. Or if not, if you're just wrestling fans, we'll see you for the interview with Jordan or Dutch Boy Platinum.
We'll talk a little Monday Night Raw tonight.
We're going to talk a little Monday Night Raw tonight as well. The video here. But we thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.